Do you know what the fastest growing city of 2018 was? I bet you wouldn't guess Boise. Nicknamed the City of Trees, the capital of Idaho is home to 236,000 residents, with around 730,000 living in the metro area. It's right here on a map, and no, it's not in Iowa or Ohio or anywhere in the Midwest. Those are over there. Idaho, here. And while that may sound silly to you, trust me, I've encountered multiple people who have confused Idaho for Iowa, and one who even thought it was Ohio. Now, if you're like most people and haven't done much research on Idaho or Boise, you'd probably think it's all just potatoes and pickup trucks. And while those do exist here, they aren't the reason so many people are flocking to the City of Trees. Well, maybe that guy. I recently just moved here myself, and it's one of my favorite cities that I've ever been to. Livability.com ranked it as the #1 best place to live in America for 2018, and it's also one of the safest cities in the country with virtually no crime year over year. It really is one of those places you don't have to worry about your kids playing outside after dark. Now, while myself among many others do love it here in Boise, it also isn't a place for everyone. If you're someone considering calling the City of Trees home, then be sure to listen to my top 10 reasons why you shouldn't move to Boise, Idaho. Number 10, if you're from California. Now, this one probably doesn't apply to many of you, but if you're from California, the people here won't like you. And they're almost too nice if you're not. Like, oh, seriously, why are they so nice here? Anyways, over 27% of new residents moving to Boise last year came from California. And while a lot of people don't really care about this, there are quite a few locals who absolutely hate it and want to make sure you know you're not welcome here. Seriously, I think I've seen more anti-California bumper stickers in the City of Trees than I have trees. Maybe they should call it the City of Anti-California Bumper Stickers. Now, that isn't to say that you shouldn't move here if you are from California. Just maybe don't tell your neighbors you're from California. Number 9, it's remote. The closest major city to Boise is Salt Lake City, which is about 340 miles or a 5-hour drive away. After that, you have Portland, which is a 6.5-hour drive, and Seattle at a 7.5-hour drive away. So yeah, Boise's pretty isolated. The closest small city outside the metropolitan area would be Twin Falls, Idaho, which only has a population of 50,000 people. And even that's over a 2-hour drive away. You won't find much except for small towns within 100 miles of the Treasure Valley. So if you can't find what you're looking for in town, it's not like you can just zip on over to the next city and see if they have it there. But hey, at least there's fresh and locally grown potatoes. While Boise does contain most of the necessities any other mid-sized city has, there might not always be that much variety when it comes to restaurants or stores like LA or New York. Which brings me to my next point. Number 8, the food. First of all, you better like fries. Or potatoes in all forms for that matter. If you don't, well, good luck. Here they serve fries with burgers on the side, and on the other side, fry sauce. If you're not from Idaho or Utah, you're probably wondering what the heck that is. Basically, you get some ketchup, you get some mayonnaise, mix it up, add some spices, and bam! Fry sauce. Most of the time, people will add a little barbecue or Worcestershire sauce for that perfect tang. Choice. Except, well, it makes sense that people in Boise would love fry sauce because their food is just bland. It needs all the help it can get. Sure, there are a few spots with a little pizzazz, but if you want anything with real flavor, try somewhere else. Like, I don't know, Louisiana? At least they know what spice is there. Their idea of spice here is roasted tomatoes. They don't even know what a taquito is in Boise. They call it a rolled taco, whatever that means. Boise isn't the most diverse city, with around 82% of the population being Caucasian or white, and this really shows in their culinary scene. While there are a few restaurants with great American food and fish, if you want to grab some good, authentic Mexican or Chinese food, you'd be hard-pressed finding it here. But no worries, you could just zip on over to the next, Salt Lake City is a 5-hour drive away. I guess P.F. Chang's it is. Number 7, extreme temperatures. Boise is a city which does experience a true 4 seasons, and extreme ones at that. Well, actually, spring and fall are pretty mild, but the summers here, they get hot. Like, really hot. I've got outside around 3-4 o'clock in the middle of the afternoon in July, and you feel that sun baking you like you're an Idaho potato. it's just not pleasant. And while winters are pretty moderate compared to other northern cities, it can still get into the low 20s Fahrenheit, and there isn't much snow to show for it either. Well, this is nice if you're someone like me who hates shoveling their driveway every morning. Boise isn't a place for you if you need to have snowy winters. All around, it's pretty dry here no matter the season. But in the summer, when the precipitation takes a vacation, you might be tempted to take one as well. If you can't get away in the summer, make sure you stock up on a lot of lotion and sunscreen. And don't forget, if you want to be a true Boisean, get the eco-friendly version. Everyone's very eco-conscious here. Number 6, hipsters and hippies. If you don't like them, don't move here because they're everywhere. There's even a whole block of downtown dedicated to graffiti art called Freak Alley. The city grants permission to different artists to paint on the walls, and they switch it up every couple of months. It's pretty cool, actually. Now, Boise's not quite as weird as Portland, but it's like the diet version, Portland Light. And I'm not saying that this is a good or a bad thing, just that it's something you should be aware of if you decide to move here. If you're someone who likes fancy clothes and designer brands, good luck finding them in Boise. If you do wear them around, people might look at you funny like, who are you trying to impress? Now, this might be a pro if you don't like having to worry about how you're gonna get dressed. Because really, nobody cares about looking cool here. If you are trying to impress your hot date, however, maybe you should try on some Boise State gear. Which brings me to my next point. Number 5, it's a college town. Boise State University is on the south side of town, and many people who live here have either gone to or are currently enrolled in the college. And they don't mess around when it comes to repping their school. There aren't any professional sports teams in Idaho, so like most other college towns, Boise State football is the one thing everyone gets behind. They're called the Broncos, and their fans are seriously some of the most hardcore in the nation. They turned their field blue, for crying out loud. And while Boiseans are usually quite nice and friendly, if you support anyone other than the Broncos, you're gonna hear it from them. Number 4, the outdoors. Now, this may not be a negative for you, and in fact, for most people, I would actually think it's a positive. But there are people who just absolutely cannot stand going out into nature and getting exercise. You know, the types of people who play Fortnite in their mom's basements and can't remember the last time they saw the sun. If you're one of those people, don't move to Boise. You'll thank me later. The people here are extremely outdoorsy, and the basements are extremely creepy. You'll be hard-pressed finding anyone who isn't into hiking, biking, camping, rafting, rock climbing, skiing, snowboarding, fly fishing, surfing, boating, snowmobiling, wakeboarding, skating, ice skating, horseback riding, archery, snowshoeing, ziplining, and of course, we can't forget football. I mean, it makes sense. The city is literally surrounded by all sorts of gorgeous nature. You have the desert to the south, beautiful foothills to the northeast with miles upon miles of hiking trails, and the Boise River runs straight through the center of town with a 30-mile-long greenbelt offering biking, kayaking, tubing, fishing, surfing, and more. And yes, you heard me right. People surf here in Boise. If you're looking for that urban city and nightlife, Boise isn't Las Vegas. The downtown area does offer some unique experiences, and there are a fair number of bars and restaurants, one of which even hosts tricycle races every Thursday night. But it really doesn't compare to any major city. A big reason why people move to Boise in the first place is to escape that hustle and bustle and to just enjoy the outdoors. If you don't like going for hikes in the woods or up a mountain, you might not have much to do when your friends all go on a camping trip to a hot spring over the weekend. Number 3, public transportation. Or lack thereof. Outside of the bus system, which only runs 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, there really is no public transportation here. Now, this may be a bit of a culture shock for you if you're coming from a big city with a good public transportation system, like in New York, San Francisco, Chicago, Boston. But yeah, unless you work a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, the public transportation here stinks. Now, this isn't to say that you need a car here, as most of the town is walkable, and it's actually one of the most bike-friendly cities in the nation. But you will need one if you want to reach the other communities in the metropolitan area, like Meridian or Nampa, or if you plan on living in one of those cities and then commuting to Boise. And if you do decide to buckle up and buy a car, then make sure you buckle up. Literally. And get some good car insurance while you're at it. Boise really does have some of the worst drivers I've ever seen. Look at how bad this person parallel parked. Do they even take driver's ed here? Insurify ranked Boise 9th on their worst drivers in the country list, so maybe you really should just stick to the sidewalk and bike paths. Number 2, Construction. Due to the influx in people moving here, there always seems to be some sort of construction going on. From the roads to new houses to parks to office buildings, it's a growing city. And they're actually quite efficient at it. Most roads under repair will usually be good to drive on within a week or so. But once they finish that road, they're right on to the next one. There's pretty much no avoiding the construction if you do decide to drive downtown. The local government is trying to stay on top of the rising population, which is a good thing. But if you don't like construction and lots of change over a short period of time, the City of Trees isn't a place for you. The locals here have a saying. There are 2 seasons in Boise: winter and construction. Number 1, expensive and rising home prices. You might have heard that Boise is a cheap place to move to and buy a house. And while this may have been true 5 to 10 years ago, it certainly isn't the case anymore. Prices still aren't quite as high as coastal cities like LA, San Francisco, Seattle, or even Portland, but buying a home in Boise is pretty expensive. The median home price here is around $300,000, which is 36% higher than the national average, and it's only going up. Now, this might not seem so bad if you're used to living in a big city where rents and home prices are through the roof. But for most people in Boise, homes are becoming unaffordable. If you don't work online or have a solid job lined up already for when you move here, you probably won't be able to afford your rent or mortgage. And then you'll be homeless, which means it's time to move to Portland. So those are my top 10 reasons why you might not want to move to Boise, Idaho. Now, if you're like me, some of these reasons might even make you want to move here more, but either way, I really hope you all learned something new today, and let me know anything you disagreed with or that I could improve on in future videos in the comments, or if there's any states or cities in particular you'd like me to cover. Boise's seriously an amazing city in perhaps one of the most underrated states in the country. I highly recommend everyone visit at least once in their lives. It's got such a cute charm to it, and the people here are just lovely. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Boy, see you later!